Milling to be dripping, I just want to hit it one time. I'm loving your lifestyle, it's so
Just
wild.
once?
It was boo-boo. It was doo-doo.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing The One, Season 1, Episode 2. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Honey, I still like the show. I just feel like, could we have picked some different singles? We're gonna get into it, okay? So we have Kirk and Tammy visiting the singles at the singles house, and Tammy talks to Ashley about her history of feeling unprotected.
It would be nice to have a guy to, just
that you can count on.
Exactly. I saw my mom sacrifice herself and who she is for the family. I'm sure she saw her mother do the exact same thing. Me having that conversation finally will,
It may be freeing for her in some ways.
for her and for me.
There's clearly a theme in Ashley's life of her mom's relationship negatively impacting her and how she dealt with her relationship. And unfortunately, the person who she was dealing with was her dad. So now on top of that, she has a complex with her dad. Of course, she has love for her father, but her dad's drinking addiction led to her feeling unseen and unloved and unprotected. And so it's this thing of like, I'm looking at my dad who's supposed to be my first love, my first protector, and he's really not doing that. And then he's also the person who my mom is dealing with. And I'm looking at my mom like, okay, so is this what love is supposed to look like? That ever enduring struggle love? It's a mess, child. It's a mess. So then Kirk is talking to Brent. Why do I feel like something is scratching me? Oh, it's a braid. Jeez. So then Kirk is talking to Brent, and he's like, what baggage do you have that we need to unpack? And Brent is trying to be cookie cutter, and Kirk is seeing through all of it.
It's not so much fear of being married again, but it's having an unhealthy or unsuccessful marriage.
If I can keep it a buck, some of it feels a little capped. So
Okay.
I need to know what about them bags that you keep the dirty drawers in. You know what I'm saying?
Can I truly be with one woman?
There we go.
You know?
Brent is so performative. And I feel like I'm going to have to go back and watch his season because I'm like, I remember liking you, but why on this show do I not like you at all? Something about him, it's like he wants to be a playboy, and I guess he thinks this is his Playboy Mansion era or something. I'm not quite sure. But basically, Kirk is being inquisitive, asking more questions, and then we get to the root of what Brent is trying to say, and basically he's unsure if he can be in a long-term committed monogamous relationship. So why are you here on the show to find the one? Yo, get these people out of here. We got somebody who wants to be a playboy. We got a girl who has a lot of unresolved trauma. It's cha. So on Ashley's dates, we meet Steve, who is 32, and Montavious, who is 36. And immediately, I'm looking at these two like, oh my gosh, production done set Steve up.
This big, buff, protein shake drinking guy walks in, and he introduces himself. I'm like, oh man, I gotta work out with this guy.
I think it's really important to meet people who have the ability to want to change. Because you meet some people, they never want to change. And Kaizen means the continuous process of improving yourself daily.
It seems like Montavious may be hiding something.
Off of aesthetics, I know obviously I'm using my own filter of what I find attractive. I'm here just like, why would they put Montavious and Steve on the same date? One of them is a clear winner, and it ain't Steve. It's definitely not Steve. And even age-wise, Steve is 32, Montavious is 36, which is more in Ashley's ballpark. Like it looks like things are gonna be in Montavious's favor. However, even though there wasn't much talking during the working out portion of the date, there was a little bit of chatter, and in the chatter we see that Montavious is a very fake deep person. He's this woke character with all these philosophies and ideologies that he likes to spew out and not let anybody else elaborate. It's like, y'all know Black ladies. Actually, I don't even have to go that obscure. Dr. Umar. It's giving Dr. Umar. It's giving Grand Rising. No, thank you. No, thank you. Then on Brent's dates, we meet Ashley, who is 32, and Richie, who is 40. And it is very clear that Brent has a type.
I'm Brittany. I'm Richie. Nice to meet you.
Two beautiful women here.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Richie bad. She's a baddie.
I'm an RN. I'm a labor and delivery travel nurse.
Oh,
So she can deliver our babies. This is great.
Right now, I'm really feeling like Richie is giving me the most rhythm. Richie's a chef, and you know your boy loves to eat.
So it's definitely easier to see that Brent has a type when you compare what Ashley has been experiencing, because her men are just, you know, they all look very different. Even the two guys we see in the next episode, completely different from the two guys in this episode, who are completely different from the two guys in the first episode. However, Brent, they all kind of look the same, or at least they have the same upkeep, you know? The hair is similar, the body is similar, the lifestyle is similar, the makeup is similar, the voice to a degree is kind of similar. And I'm like, yeah, it's giving line up my Playboy bunnies so I can go ahead and be Hugh Hefner. That's what it's given to me. They did talk a little bit about like lifestyle and what they're looking for. They both want children, but Brittany hasn't dated anybody over 35. And Brent is what, 40? So that's not really her vibe. Richie is 40. And it seems like Brent is more fixated on her anyways. So yeah. After the dates, Brent and Ashley decide to debrief on their dates. And Brent is struggling to find characteristics in these women that he's attracted to beyond physical attributes.
Appearance is in your top 5.
Oh, here we go.
You gotta describe Miss Richie and Miss Brittany.
They're both attractive women. What do you want me to say?
That ain't enough. Give me some details.
In my past, if I was more attracted to one, then that's probably the one that I would choose. But this is a new process. I'm approaching it differently. I'm trying to go deeper.
Brent, honey, I'm gonna need you to make it a little bit harder for us to peep your game. Make it just a little bit harder for us to see what time you're on. And that time is demon time. Like, this man, he loves the company of a beautiful woman, which is, technically it's not an issue, but when you're on a show where the premise is to find the one, you'd at least want to play it up a little bit to show that you're trying. And it doesn't look like Brent is trying. It looks like he wanted a lad's holiday, get his fix in with all these beautiful ladies, and when the process is over, he's gonna go back to being single. Like, I don't see this man being successful here. The group has a cake. Why am I'm having a brain aneurysm. A cake decorating date. Why was that so hard? And Brittany decided not to come. Honestly, Brittany, I don't blame you. Because Brent ain't it, honey. But anyways, after that, they decided to have an icebreaker. And the antics during the icebreaker, after the icebreaker, were very telling.
When's the last time you had sex?
Ooh.
It'll be 3 years in March.
You know, I just got a lot of, I got a lot of philosophies, you know what I'm saying?
Montavious is still being fake deep.
I know you so nice and so sweet, but I want to grab them ass cheeks.
Ooh.
I know that now, anytime there's a lot of alcohol and Steve is partaking, that there's gonna be a lot of things coming out of his mouth.
So Ashley has been celibate, or maybe abstinent, because she's saving for marriage. Is she saving for marriage? I don't know. Anyways, whatever it is, abstinent or celibate, it's been 3 years. So Steve is not keen on it. And you can see him being like, ooh, I don't know. He drinks his wine and then he's drinking more wine. And I'm like, oh, this is going to trigger something. She has an alcoholic father. And then you have, what's his name? Montavious, who, that even just sounds like a Grand Rising name. You have Montavious, who is being like this fake deep person, and like, he's not being authentic. And I'm like, oh, this is going to trigger her too, because he's not going to make her feel safe, because he can't even be genuine. It's just a mess. It is a mess. These two are a mess. I feel like she should have been given the option to not pick anyone, but she still had to pick someone who we're going to get into, but neither of them are a good option. Fast forward to the decision. The Franklins are asking Ashley about these men, and it's clear It's clear neither of them are a good option, but I guess she had to pick somebody, so she chose Steve, even though he may have a drinking. I mean, just because you drink a lot, that doesn't necessarily mean you're alcoholic, because that would mean you have a dependency on it. So like he just drinks more excessively than she's comfortable with. Let's go with that for now, because I'm not going to diagnose the man, you know? And then Brent only had one option, but he still had the choice to choose her or not, but he decided to pick Richie. And then the episode ends with Ashley's parents actually coming to the singles house to help her unpack her childhood trauma.
Years ago, one time I told her I loved her. And you know what she told me? She said, "How you gonna love me when you don't love yourself?"
He had some issues, and I was there. I was there, and I did what I had to do. I stayed home, took care of my children, and I went to church.
Ashley's mom obviously went through struggle of, oh, God forbid, Jesus Christ, please, Lord, no, please, God. Please, God, no. And she says that what kept her in the relationship was her kids and God. And the fact that this is a covenant that she made with God, and she was going to stick with it. Now, I'm here for that. That is very noble. My thing is, how thick is the thick in through thick and thin? Guys, how thick is the thick? Because sometimes women get put through the ringer under the guise of, well, this is just one of the lows in the relationship and we're going to work through it and it's going to be great. But it's like, how thick is the thick, y'all? How thick is the thick? And I'm speaking from, not personal experience, like not me, but seeing women in my church growing up and the foolishness they would go through, the foolishness these men would come and say to me. And I'm like, I know your wife, right? Why are you in my Instagram DMs when I know your wife, right? Why are you talking to me in a church lobby when I know your wife, right? How thick's the thick, guys? How thick is the thick? To me, alcohol addiction, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. This is even making me think of Queen Charlotte, guys. I don't know if I could do it. So I do have to say it is very noble for women who can stick it out. My question is just, how thick is the thick? So, like I said, if it's your conviction to stay in a marriage like this, that's your prerogative. Who am I? However, Ashley is approaching 40. And it is very clear that the decision to stay in this marriage has affected her immensely.
The drinking, of course. It made me feel unwanted. Right?
Okay.
I ended up with 2 guys with addiction problems. And Mom, I felt that I had to stay longer in a relationship that I wasn't supposed to be in.
So now you have a situation where Ashley became her mom looking for men like her dad. She was in relationships with 2 men who both had addictions, and she felt like she stayed in those relationships longer than she needed to, which is the exact archetype of her parents' relation. Oh, God forbid. God forbid. Oh my goodness. But I am glad that they are having this conversation. I am glad that she does realize that even though that was her example of marriage, she doesn't have to exemplify that. That does not have to be the marriage that you emulate. You can be the change. You can choose something that's better, that's healthier. And hey, yeah, long lasting is great, but long suffering, I don't know about the long suffering part. So anyways, yeah, I thought this episode was interesting. It uncovered some stuff that I felt like was important to talk about. I definitely think the producers did a disservice in the picking for Ashley. And it seems like that's going to happen again next week. I'm going to need y'all to be for real. Because it seems like Brent is getting what he wants and Ashley's going to have to go through this struggle love. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyways, that's it for you guys this week. Y'all let me know your thoughts on this episode and how you're feeling about the show so far. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.